All right, we are back and ready to rip into Amon-Ra
Yes.
in a good way. Want to do a deep dive on him like we've done with Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, and David Montgomery. All of those videos you can see on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you have liked and subscribed there. Go ahead and like this video and give it a share as well. But Eric, let's talk about the sun god. Let's talk about Amon-Ra
Yes.
St. Brown. How excited are you for his 2023 season?
He's one of my favorite players with the Detroit Lions.
I figured
I'm
you
a wide
was. I
receiver.
figured you
I
was.
used to play receiver in high school. So I have a soft spot in my heart for wide receivers of the Detroit
I'm
Lions.
sure you do.
And he's just,
That
hey,
shows in your
yeah,
arguments
it's
on
a
the
little,
show.
little, little juice to it. But honestly, also, in chat, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section about this. To me, I think he's been Brad Holmes' best draft pick so far. I think he has been his best find. Sun God has been nothing but spectacular. I mean, coming up from his rookie year, he didn't get out to a hot start, but he did warm up when Josh Reynolds was acquired by the Lions, and we saw some chemistry be developed between Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But he is, I think, the perfect complement to this offense at wide receiver. A great possession guy, catches with his hands, very explosive at the line of scrimmage in terms of getting defenders off of him. And you can line him up anywhere. Not only that, we see him in creative packages where they flip the ball to him like a running back at times. So he is a unbelievable gadget player, and I'm super, super excited to see what he does in 2023 behind this offense.
You talked about him getting off to a slow start, and I'm looking at his stats. 4 targets in his first game, 5 targets in his second game, 1 target in his third game. Jumped up to 8, then 8,
Yep.
then 7, then 5, 6, 4, 4. And then week 12, 12 targets. And he never had less than 10 targets for the
Yeah.
rest of his rookie
Yeah.
season. You talk about bursting onto a scene, and oh, by the way, averaged 13.63 yards in the final week, 13.8 the week before that, 10 per catch the week before that. Like, he made an impact the moment he started getting more targets. Once Jared Goff started going, listen, I can get this guy the ball and he's going to catch the ball, that made a huge impact. We're talking about a guy that did not see double-digit targets until week 12 and still racked up 912
Baller.
yards on the season. And then went over 1,000 yards in 2022. Yes. Like, this is, I know we have JMO, and I know he's supposed to, like, potentially be the number one guy. He's got to take that from Amon-Ra to begin. He absolutely has to take it from Amon-Ra if he wants to be that guy. Because right now, Amon-Ra is the best receiver on this team.
He won a lot of people over. I mean, my favorite game in his rookie season was where I think he emerged onto the scene, where it was that Vikings game where he had, what you said, 12 targets, 10 catches, but he also caught the game-winning touchdown as time expired from Jared Goff. I was in the arena when that happened. Ford Field lost their damn mind.
Nice.
And yeah,
I bet they did.
He's perfect. I couldn't agree with you more, though. It's not going to be an easy road for J-Mo to take that, those reins from Amon-Ra St. Brown in this offense, where I think it maybe caters to him a little bit more than J-Mo, at least from what we've seen so far. But I mean, if he's your number one guy, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a bad thing to have at all.
So I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
Then we're going to come back to it. Do you think St. Brown has the potential to become a top receiver in the league? I want you to think on that while we talk to the people about Gear Up Detroit.
You are just working it with these teasers. I love it. Detroit sports fans, let me talk to you real quick. Did you know you can now rep your favorite Detroit team in style without even leaving this page? Gear Up Detroit store is now available right here on YouTube, just below the video you're watching right now.
That's right. You can browse through our range of high-quality, unique, and stylish merchandise from all of your favorite Detroit sports teams, the Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, and the Pistons, without missing a moment of your favorite show, Beyond the
Also, if you
Box.
want to explore even more awesome gear, you can always visit gearupdetroit.shop for a full range of tees, hoodies, hats, and more, all designed by talented local artists.
So, with the draft coming up or the next game that you're going to, make sure you support local creators and make a statement with gearupdetroit.shop. And remember, you can shop right here on YouTube or visit the website
Yeah.
gearupdetroit.shop. Now, Eric, I asked the question. I know the answer because it's kind of a self fulfilling
Mm-hmm.
prophecy in a way. He's already a
Absolutely,
top
he is.
receiver in the league.
He's elite.
He was top 5
Mm-hmm.
in receptions last year. He was top 10 in yards, 19th in touchdowns. But what does it take for Amon-Ra to become top 5 in everything or the best receiver
Oh
in the league?
man, and that's not easy.
And I'll add to that.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minute. How can his role also evolve in the Lions
Well,
offense?
that's not going to be easy because in the NFL, I think we are at a point where we're seeing the most talent at wide receiver that we've ever had. Obviously, I'm only
For
33,
sure.
so I mean, or 32. I could be, missing some groups before I was born, but I feel pretty safe in what I'm saying. I think this is the most talent we've ever had at wide receiver, and he
Yeah,
adds
it's
to
pretty
it.
good.
I feel like his role is going to evolve in terms of maybe not production, because I feel like he's more than capable of having 100 plus catches again, going over 1,000 yards, and I don't necessarily think he has to be their leading touchdown guy. I think he's in a position now where, as this offense is becoming cemented, roles are being established, and I think he is, like, as his comps are, like with Hines Ward, Cooper Kupp. I think he's that chain mover that keeps that offense on the field. He's that guy that you can line up anywhere, and you have to account for him before the ball is even snapped, because he's very good at finding wiggle
For
room,
sure.
getting space open, beating his defenders off the line of scrimmage, and getting runs or yards after catch as well. He's very, very smart and crafty in those regards. So I think it's just consistency that he needs to build at this point. I'm gonna let you go, but I have a few guys that I only think are better than him. Like, I think he's top 10 already, but I don't think he's far from being top
Oh,
5.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, I don't think so either. Like, I was looking at, and we're going to get into this when we talk about the contract list, but like some of the guys that are getting paid ahead of him, I would not take
Okay.
over him.
I agree.
For instance, and this might get me hung out to dry, but CD
Amon-Ra's
Lamb,
better. Yeah.
yeah, T
Amon-Ra's better.
Higgins, but both
Facts.
are
That's
getting
true.
paid more than him. And so that kind of goes into the conversation that we're going to have in the next segment. But his role evolving, what I see is, and what I think is going to happen is that it's like they did. I think it was early this season. It had to be early this season because he was on my fantasy team and I got points for it. But where they started to get him on jet sweeps and they started to get him just getting the
Yep.
ball into his hands more is going to be the way that his role evolves. You're going to see his role evolve to where he is the diversion
Mm-hmm.
from JMO that works to get JMO open, but then also can leak out and be that impact receiver probably before the chains to then make moves and move
Mm-hmm.
the chains after that. It's going to be exciting to see. And I think that this is the perfect offense
Could not agree
for him.
more. Like, he has like the traits of not just a receiver, but you just spoke about how he could be lined up as a running back, used on jet sweeps. He plays with the physicality of a tight end, and especially with how he, like, where he operates in the middle of the field as well. You could not have a more complimentary receiver in this offense than him. Like, especially Jared Goff would agree as well with the connection
No.
that those two have developed.
And I think that you get, one more piece around them. And I think you have a very dynamic. I mean, Marvin Jones coming in, you still got Josh Reynolds. Like, that is a really good wide
Yes.
receiver core. And so it's going to be exciting in 2023 because I think Amon-Ra can go
Yes.
to that
Yes.
next level. He'll be top 5 next season, and potentially you could see JMO being top
That's
15, top 20,
that's the
top
dream.
10, maybe. And if he is, that's because Amon-Ra has taken that next step. Now, as we have done with these deep dives, I'm going to give you some interesting facts
Yeah.
about Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I want you to rank them, 5 being the most interesting,
All
1
right, let's
being the
do it.
least
Yep.
interesting. Okay? Number 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown speaks fluent German and French.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, as a semi-fluent Spanish speaker myself, I give anyone credit who can be bilingual in more than one language.
Not even bilingual, he's
Excuse me. So
trilingual.
that's an automatic 5. That's awesome.
That's an automatic 5. Okay, so we talked about his jump onto the scene, and that jump onto the scene included 6 consecutive games with a touchdown.
It's fantastic.
When he did that and accomplished that, he tied Randy Moss and Rob Gronkowski as the only players with 6 consecutive games with a touchdown.
I'll give it a 4. I just kind of hate those stats where like they cherry pick specifics to like put you in a elite group with somebody else. It's good to be in that group, but I'll give that like a 3.9. I give it like a 3.9. Some of those stats, like those cherry pick stats, just bother me a little bit.
That's not cherry pick. That's literally you scored touchdowns in 6 consecutive games, and there's 2 players ahead of you that have done that as well. One of them's a Hall of Famer in Randy Moss, and the other's the best tight end that's played in recent
season,
memory.
or is this his last season?
That's not cherry picked. When he did it in 21.
So as a rookie. Okay,
now you're going to make me look again.
Okay, fine.
No, it was 21 into 22.
Okay, fine. I'll give him his credit then. I'll give him a 4.5. I'm sorry. Some of those
stats.
old youngest receiver to catch this many yards and blue shoes. Like, all right.
Well,
bro.
then you're gonna hate. Hate this one. He's the first player in NFL history with 8 receptions and a touchdown in 6 consecutive games in NFL history.
That's not bad. I'll give that a 4.5 as well.
While wearing white shoes and his shoelaces were tied left-handed.
Stevie Wonder in his head. Oh, great, fantastic! No, I'll give him props for that. It speaks to his consistency.
Important.
I'm okay with that. I'll give him crap for that.
Man. All right, well, here's the deal. You need to let us know if you think those are interesting in the comments, because apparently Eric is not on the fun bus tonight. He is being the Debbie Downer of all shows and apparently hates Amon-Ra and his interesting facts. So in the comments, please let us know. Do you find those things interesting, 1 through 5? And what expectations do you have for Amon-Ra St. Brown when it comes to the 2023 season?